In this recording, today we'll be going over how you can stand up for yourself, and stand up for yourself the right way. Now, I used to be a victim of bullying back in my younger days. I used to be afraid of my bullies. All that they've said to me and done to me was pretty horrible. I had to deal with that for 10 years straight. And that feeling of helplessness, even hopelessness, is a horrible feeling. But fortunately, over time, I've learned to grow from that experience. That as much as I despise what my bullies did to me, at the same time I thank them. I thank them for being the a-holes that they were, because it made me a stronger person. I grew thicker skin. Now I'm able to stand up for myself a lot more easily. Because here's the thing. If you truly wanted to stand up for yourself, you have to first believe in yourself and appreciate the person that you are. As in, if you have love and respect for yourself, that already puts you on a good path right there. As in, that's a good first step towards standing up for yourself the right way. But the other thing is, depending on what kind of bully you're dealing with, you want to try and approach it from a peaceful angle. The thing is, when it comes down to dealing with problematic people, you have to understand that there's a reason why they are the way they are. So as much as Hollywood wants to make you think that dealing with a bully is all about just bashing them in the face, that's not the right thing to do. Unless your bully wants to get physically violent with you, then you have the right to use physical force to defend yourself. But you want to avoid physical confrontation as much as possible, because violence is not and should not be the first course of action, ever. Because there's always a way to settle things peacefully, especially if your bully has some semblance of humanity in them. Because most times, bullies are just troubled people. They're going through a situation where, things just aren't working out well for them in life, and they wind up taking their frustrations out on you or other people. So if you do find yourself in a position where you're dealing with one of these kinds of individuals, the best thing to do is just say, hey, is there something going on? Let's talk. Just try to reason with them. And ask them if you could just take them aside and just sit down and have a conversation. Just say, listen, you shouldn't be picking on people, but I understand there's probably something going on in your life, and I maybe should talk about it, and let's see if we could resolve it peacefully, and maybe I could help you. Offering a hand of compassion and guidance is a good first course of action. Because let me tell you, when I was dealing with my bullies, the reason why they were the way they were is because they probably were having a crappy home life, or especially even teachers who were kind of being an a-hole to me. Maybe something was going on in their life. Maybe they were insecure about something. And usually that is the reason why bullies pick on others, because they're insecure about themselves. So what you want to do is you want to approach the situation as peacefully as possible. Because when you do that, it not only tells the bully where you stand, but it tells everyone else what kind of person you really are. That you're willing to do the right thing. And not to sink to the same level as the bully. Because if you're going to react aggressively and with anger, it's only going to make the situation worse. Two wrongs don't make a right. And combating hate with hate only makes more hate. So if you really wanted to make things right, you have to combat the negative with the positive. Because let me tell you how I beat my bullies, folks, okay? I beat my bullies simply by thinking, what is the one thing that I can do that the bullies can't do? And that's being a good person. That's how you beat your bullies, is simply doing the one thing you know darn well they can't do. But furthermore, what you want to do with the bully is not really to beat them down or make them feel like crap. What you want to do is offer them an alternative, a positive alternative on how they can improve their lives, that they don't have to sink to this level. That's the right thing to do. And let me tell you something, folks. With all the horrible things that my bullies had said to me and what they put me through over the course of 10 years of my childhood, from when I was 5 until I was 15, as much as I despise what they did, I forgive them. And I also thank them. I thank them for giving me thicker skin. I understand why they did what they did. And that's really what you want to have, is an understanding. It's about perspective. So, if you are dealing with a problematic person, try to reason with them and try to understand why they are the way they are. Because with that, you can get an idea of how to deal with them. And just say, listen, well, especially if it is this kind of situation where you experience a similar thing that they did, you could easily comfort them on that and say, listen, I get it. It sucks that happened. I went through the same thing, but taking your frustrations out on other people is not going to make anything better. Because that level of understanding, let me tell you something, folks, whenever, let's say you experience something that was horrible, and you share it with someone else who just so happened to go through a similar situation, you feel a lot better, don't you? You feel much more comfortable. You feel at ease. Right? Because someone understands you. Right? So that's why it's important to approach things from a peaceful angle. Because you may solve the problem in better ways than if you were to approach it from a more aggressive, angry, and vicious angle, you know. So that's something to think about, right? So if any of you need to stand up for yourself, you have to just believe in yourself and be okay with who you are. Understand that it's okay that you're not perfect, but I'm going to try and be the best version of myself. I'm going to try and be a good person and do the right thing. That's all you have to do. Most of all, don't be afraid. You have to have that courage as well. The courage to speak. The courage to face what you are afraid of. And as Mark Twain had even said himself, courage is resistance to fear. Mastery of fear, not absence of fear. And that's what it takes. You have to have the courage within yourself to face what you're afraid of. Just like I said before, I used to be afraid of my bullies. Now, I'm not. I could stand up to them a lot more easily. So, I'll leave it there, folks. So, if you got something good out of this, I hope you did. And of course, if you have any questions or want to share your experiences, feel free to put it in the comment section down below. So, hope you have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.